Today we will look at the case of the alleged Craigslist killer, Philip Markoff. When he was just 23 years old, this brilliant Boston University medical student went on a killing spree that not only shocked the nation, but all those who knew and loved him. People in his life initially stood behind him because they simply could not believe he was capable of what he was accused of. His actions did not match the personality of the person that they knew. As his fiancée tearfully said, "What has been portrayed and linked to the media is not the Philip Markoff that I know. To me and my family, he is a loving and caring person." To take a deeper look at the personality of Markoff, let's review the trait theory developed by Gordon Allport. As you can see, Allport's work focused on individual differences, commonalities, and situational variables in relation to personality. His approach is looked at as a balance between psychoanalysis and behaviorism. According to his work, traits are permanent dispositions to behave in certain ways. Different traits are revealed in different situations. This disposition approach matches that taken by physical science as well. Essentially, it is assumed that our behavior is primarily consistent from one situation to another. However, some behaviors may vary depending on context, and some people can have more extreme behavioral reactions to different situations. Allport began developing his theory by literally going word by word through the dictionary. He made note of every term that could potentially describe a personality trait. Once he had all those words, 18,000 of them, he culled them down and divided them into personality trait categories: cardinal, central, and secondary. First is the cardinal personality trait. These can be defined as your dominant personality traits, what we are known for. A great way to think of this is through the lens of famous and infamous people. For example, Abraham Lincoln was known as honest. Philip Markoff was known as a brilliant medical student that was driven to achieve his personal dreams, serious about his goals, loving toward his fiancée, and later narcissistic and cowardly. Second, or central personality traits. These show up in everyone in varying degrees. They do influence us, but they don't determine how we will act or react. These traits are often how you might describe someone's overall character: kind, funny, giving, anxious, things along those lines. Philip Markoff was thought of by many as a friendly, well-spoken, and happy person. His behavior also illustrated that he was entitled and egotistical. Secondary personality traits can be thought of as situational traits. For example, when we put others under extreme stress, some people who would normally behave calmly and logically might lash out and become irrational, or in the case of Markoff, violent. Another of Markoff's friends stated, "There must be two Philips inside of that body, one I knew and one I didn't know." Philip Markoff was found to act out of his typical character when he gambled, going so far as to go beyond simply rowdy to violent. This could have been a clear indicator of some of his deviant personality traits. Once he was caught, he was certainly known to be dangerous, but on top of that, he was also short-sighted and arrogant, as he did not attempt to hide his physical identity when he attacked his victims, or from the hotel staff that he visited, seemingly appearing to think he simply wouldn't get caught. He also did not try to protect himself, as he knowingly touched victims' phones and left fingerprints. Even after he was apprehended, he appears apathetic in photos and his responses to authorities. His obsessive trait came out when his fiancée broke off their engagement. His arrogance and apathy and general savageness could all be situational responses as he acts out his sexual fantasies and tries to rob the women he was attacking to pay back his debts. While some of these traits may be truly secondary, there is potential that they could also be part of his cardinal personality traits. He just hid them well from his family and friends, especially since cardinal traits typically develop later in life. I hope this overview of Allport's personality theory provided a unique look into the personality of Philip Markoff.